came through the upstairs, and there wasn't a whole lot of them staged up there waiting to come running down the steps either.
I don't understand.
You don't?
No. Why wouldn't they be staged? Just rush down here.
Rush down.
We can be entertaining.
Can.
They stay at home.
Depends on your definition of entertaining.
It's true.
Yeah. Kick back in your recliner with your favorite adult beverage in your hand.
Make fun of
And
certain
watch your favorite adult.
comments that are made or not made.
It's mystery science.
Make sure you talk in the microphone, so.
They can make
Yeah,
fun.
get my own microphone again. It's like old times.
I think
That's no mic,
Like you need one. All right. Seeing it's 7 o'clock, let's call to order the Board of Hideaway Hills Club Board of Trustees meeting December 17, 2019. Notice that everybody's here except for Tom Matthews, who is excused. He had a conflict tonight. Can I have a motion to adopt the agenda? Scott Martin moves. May I have a second? Linda seconds. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. President's report. We're going to make this really short and simple. I think it's just a time for reflection and Thanksgiving. I mean, we've had a lot of really good events that have happened here, a lot of fellowship amongst the membership. The Santa breakfast was extremely well attended and people enjoyed it. The food was good. The holiday tour was exceptional. I mean, I think it was a record for the number of people. I understand there were over 300 people there. All day long, the people, thanks to social committee as well as to all the folks who, exhibited their homes, who invited people into their homes, and so it was. I haven't heard anything other than just glowing comments about it. So I think we just need to take a minute and sort of enjoy it. I mean, we're going to have an interesting year coming up. We're going to have some challenges we'll deal with, but I think right now 2020 will be challenging, but 2019 has been, in my opinion, been a really successful year for us. We've got lots of things done, lots of good times, and I guess that's where I'm going to leave it for tonight. I think we need to just enjoy our families, and enjoy the communities we go through the holiday season. On that note, Annie, do we have any correspondence tonight?
No, we do not have any correspondence.
Alrighty, how about the minutes?
So I'd like to make a motion to accept the minutes from the last Board of Trustees meeting on November 19th, 2019.
Second from Jim Lloyd. Any questions? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving along, Mr. Weibel, the treasurer's report, please.
We're keeping this short and sweet tonight, right?
We are.
Okay.
I would never try to cut you back.
Okay, as of November 30th, 2019, the balance in the Benton County National Bank for the Board of Trustees checking account was $139,947.83. I move that treasury report be accepted.
Second by our clap. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving along, Mr. Kirk, on to the management report.
We're on record pace.
We are.
Thank you, Mr. President. First thing, and on a positive note, the members contributed over $20,500 to the Employee Christmas Fund. The employees want me to express a big thank you to all the members for contributing. That was awesome. That blew away last year, which blew away the year before. That's just really great that the members show what they feel, how they feel about the employees. Second thing, packages being received at the Guard Shack are exceeding 125 packages a day, Monday through Friday, plus an additional 80 on Saturday. And we were informed that starting this Sunday, they'll be delivering on Sundays to get everything delivered by Christmas, and probably the Sunday after for the stuff that they didn't get delivered by Christmas. What this means, though, is that includes FedEx, UPS, DHL, Amazon, and U.S. Postal Service. What that means is security is now allocating 48 hours a week of security guard time per week exclusively to handle the process of receiving the packages, calling the numbers and handing out packages. That's just the guys that are scheduled, I'm not sure, like 11 to 7 or 10 to 6, whatever, through the day. That doesn't include the time earlier in the day when people come to pick up their packages, or later in the day after that particular person's gone home. But that's what it means to security staff right now when it comes to the time spent. We have one small issue. We have some issues with members not picking up their packages in a timely manner. Packages must be picked up within 3 days or they're going to be shipped back. That's been put out before. It'll get put out again, I think, tomorrow in an e-blast. Here's what's happening. Monday they get 125 packages. They make all the phone calls. 25 packages get picked up. Tuesday, another 125 packages come in. That means there's 225 packages back there, and they make all the phone calls, and another 25 or 30 get picked up, and all of a sudden that little pimple on the back of the guard shack, which is now painted the right color, is full. And then you have, no names will be mentioned to protect the guilty, somebody have a large present for their husband shipped in, and when security calls, they ask if the guard shack can keep it inside until Christmas Eve.
Wow.
Boom, boom. Moving on. It wasn't you, no. You're dead meat. I don't have a room big enough for that TV. We're leaving it at that. Okay, Lodge Clubhouse update. The numbers came out this morning. I think they were shared with everybody, but here's a little bit of an update. Lodge November sales were 26,102, which is an increase of almost 8,400 over the month before, October, and within 700 of matching last November. So sales are trending in the right direction. November's loss was $9,529, which was down $7,500 from October. Clubhouse November sales were $18,199, and November's expenses were $21,218, resulting in a loss of a little bit over $3,000. Staffing levels have been adjusted to reflect the seasonal downturn in evening business, in particular at the clubhouse. Staffing at both locations is getting closer to normal. Clubhouse staff, well, the clubhouse is staffed fine. Clubhouse staff has been helping when needed at the lodge, especially in the bar, due to recent loss of staff. 2 or 3 of them have actually come down here, and it's not like they're volunteering, they're on the payroll, they get paid for it, but they've come in and done a great job of helping out upstairs. Food Service Committee has met for the 5th time and welcomed 2 new members, Eric Lapp and Jeff Barron. A big New Year's Eve party is planned, which is a combined effort of both the lodge and the clubhouse. There's been e-blasts, it's been on Facebook. If you haven't seen it, look, it's out there. They got big plans for New Year's Eve. There's going to be a DJ and all that. Lastly, Hocking County EMS completed the first aid and AED update training for all of our security guards on Wednesday, the 27th of November, the day before Thanksgiving, while a couple volunteer members manned the front gate. Thank you to Mike Adams and Dale Lamb for handling the front gate with 0 incident reports written. And that's my update, Mr. President.
There was one issue that I talked to you about earlier today, is that I would like a recommendation from you, because 2 of the members on the management committee.
I responded by email.
I know, but I would like you, if you could.
Yes, I think it was Steve Cundiff and Dan Donovan are up for reaffirmation, and the management committee, and me in particular, would recommend that they be reaffirmed.
Thank you. Would anybody like to make a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Jim Lloyd makes the motion to reaffirm Steve Cundiff and Dan Donovan for another year on the management committee, 2 years on the management committee. Second from Eric. Any further question on that? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Very good. Tell them we're back, we'll count on them for
I'll do that.
another time.
Send them our condolences.
I was wondering if they knew you were making a motion tonight.
No, I didn't tell them.
Smart man.
I'll get a text here in just a second.
All right, anything further of Jim? Any other questions? Did you, in terms of you said we were able to hire another cook for the kitchen upstairs?
Yes.
Okay.
He actually thought he had two hired, which one qualifies as a cook, but he was actually coming in a different position. And that particular gentleman, while he was driving home from here, his full-time work is in construction, and he got a call that from another company that wants him to work all winter, so he wasn't going to be laid off, so he had to take that instead of coming with us.
Okay.
Yes.
Is the keno on you, or are you handling it, or is Randy handling that?
Are you going to cover that?
Yes, I am. Okay.
Oh, that's right. Andy, you just asked a question. The status of the budget and recommendations on that.
It is in process, and we will have it, the whole committee, but in particular, Jim Sigafus is working on finalizing it. We'll have it for January's meeting.
Okay. I think we will need to entertain a motion then to have a continuing resolution for the next month, so that as of January 1, we can continue to spend at the 2019 level. Linda makes a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Scott seconds. Any questions at all? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We should have that after, motion carries. So, we can have that before the next meeting.
You'll have it, yes.
That's what we can talk about it then.
Right.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you, Amy. Mr. Swetnam, to you.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I am delighted to announce that our delinquency accounts are down again for the month of December. November was 19,112, and December is down to 18,502. What is our delinquent accounts for regular assessments? Roads went down also from 2,748 to 2,500. So that just continues to be reduced thanks to the delinquency panel and efforts of others. Dam assessment total as of yesterday was 275,415. I do want to make one note on Jim's report on the security first aid and AED training, and that was at no charge by Hockey EMS or EMC. So that was I just wanted to throw that in there also. What Scott asked about, had a meeting with the Lottery Commission the other day to go over placement of the equipment. We'll have, of course, the kiosk down at the clubhouse with 3 monitors. One of the monitors will be over top of the trash can so you can see it from the deck, which is very popular for a lot of folks. We're waiting on the results of my background check. Keep your fingers crossed. And then they'll be down to install the equipment once that's approved. And I have no idea how long that takes. It just depends on how long it takes for the agency to get that approved and back to the Lottery Commission. So that should be, I think they said 2 to 3 weeks how long that takes. So hopefully by the first of the year we'll have that kiosk up and running. As far as our D6 permit for liquor for Sunday sales, I have had a tremendous amount of problems dealing with liquor control. The one lady who was in charge with that just simply won't call me back to verify where we are. I know Eric called the Board of Elections, and all that stuff has been submitted.
As of that morning.
As of that morning?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, I was told, be patient. And then she said, I talked to liquor control, or Board of Elections said they had spoke with Liquor Control earlier that morning, and that everything that needed to be put in place has been put in place
Okay.
from their perspective.
Okay. Okay. I had inquired on the D6 permit application, which we'd already put in there, but we needed to pay the permit fee. They said wait till they heard from us, and then somebody else said no, send it in. You'll be one step above things, and so we did. We sent that in, so we're just waiting for them to come out and do the inspection. The inspection, I'm not sure what all that involves, but I know when we increased the footprint down at the clubhouse, they just came down, took a look, because we increased it to the golf course. We asked if we could add the putting green, and they agreed to that, which was kind of strange because it was across the road. So I don't think that would be a problem, it's just procedure. So that's kind of where we are with that. I don't have a timeline on that. And like Eric says, be patient, unfortunately. Management's meeting next week, scheduled for Tuesday, which is Christmas Eve. We have moved that to Monday night. So all of you that are excited about the management committee meetings, it'll be on Monday instead of Tuesday.
You can watch us on YouTube also.
Yeah, that's correct.
I'll have my popcorn ready.
Big long board meeting, Star Complex. 3 shows a day.
There we go.
And last but not least, we've got an issue, and how to describe this is kind of tough to do. We've got a place up at the north end of the lake where we're getting a lot of sediment coming in the lake. It's actually where Boar Hill Road used to run, which runs right through where the gate is and right across our road and down right through the lake. And right there's a creek type thing there that we're getting a lot of sediment in there, and management's looking into engineering to get a sediment trap hooked in there. So that's ongoing. It keeps you abreast of that. We talked about it at our last meeting. We're going to, and we tabled it till January, February meeting, and so we'll see where we're going to go with that. But it is a situation that needs to be addressed.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, it was an area that had been dredged out pretty significantly, and in 3 to 4 years, the lake's been up. It's sort of building up a sandbar where the delta area of the stream is.
Correct.
It's right there in between Blanket Ship and Hurley is.
That is
That old road, because I drove down that roadbed to get all that stuff that he always get letter from. It's pretty easy to, I would think wouldn't be that hard to do.
Well, the thing it is, we want to do it right.
Right, sure.
Yeah. I mean, we've got a spot picked out, and we'd like to make sure we do it right.
Fortunately, 2LMN has done some of the engineering already. They analyzed, quite a few of our streams before they did the first sediment trap on the north end. So it's a question of putting it in the right place, using the right structure for the thing, and then and making it big enough so that it does the job, so it doesn't get overtopped easily. So, but I think it's that, and there's a couple other streams that we'll probably have to look into going forward as well. We don't want to go back to where we were with not having a north end of the lake.
Right.
And that's the way it's going to go.
Jim, in the past, when the budget wasn't approved in December, we would pass a motion to approve the payroll portion. And I don't know if you're ready with it, and we could e-vote or something so that payroll doesn't do a makeup, because they're paying on 2019 levels, and you've got increases already planned. It's up to you, but I just mentioned we've done that in the past.
I'm not sure they're doing a salary increase the way we did in the past, though.
Well, the only thing that will take effect is the minimum wage goes up a little bit, but that's a legal deal. We don't have any option with that.
Yeah, they've got
there aren't any
approach
other
to it these days.
there aren't any other increases planned for the January.
Very good.
I have a question. I guess it would be for you, Randy, and maybe you, Jim, and whoever. But we've talked about having selling scratch-offs, lottery. Where are we with that? and it was my understanding we were going to look at the clubhouse and the lodge, and might as well throw Keno in also. So where are we with those options, as well as the lodge?
The kiosk that we're gonna have one upstairs in the lounge and one down at the clubhouse does both Keno and all of the electronic
The scratch off.
lottery games. The scratch offs are kind of a next step, next level. Am I speaking correctly there?
Is that right? I mean, I was gonna let you go.
Yeah.
But, so those are the pull tabs is what we were talking about.
Right.
I've actually, after the meeting, I had some, because what we have to have is a charity backing us. And I actually had somebody call me after the meeting that's a charity here and said, hey, we're willing to work with you. And then Thanksgiving happened and it's kind of on my plate.
That's for that next one.
Yeah.
We're set within
The lottery stuff.
for the lottery and
That's-
Keno.
That's at the lodge and clubhouse?
Yes.
Because I'm sorry, I misunderstood. I thought you just said the clubhouse.
Yeah.
It's
I
both.
just described where we were gonna put the equipment down there. I didn't
Oh.
describe it up here.
So we're gonna have to.
Upstairs, right inside, go through the door.
Okay,
And against the stone wall between the door and the fireplace opening, there will be the kiosk and they only need one monitor in there, and there'll be one right above it. In the clubhouse, there'll be a total of 3 monitors, and the kiosk will sit actually between the storage room door and the door leading out to
The whole.
the hallway, right there.
Okay, thanks for the update.
Very good. Anything further for Randy?
Oh, how many people, did you have to call people in to plow the other night? Yes.
Okay.
You came in about 11 o'clock.
Oh, it was 11 o'clock, okay.
Yeah.
How many, just 1 or 2? Or?
I'm not sure how many you brought in.
I mean, I could hear, at one point I heard the plow, and I thought it was
Yeah.
in the middle of the night, so. Thank you.
Is he done?
I am.
I just wanted to say, talk about the delinquencies, and he said that thanks to the links panel and others, the real thanks goes to Randy.
Yeah.
He has been diligent, and he has done one hell of a job of bringing that down. We'd be in real trouble if we had the delinquencies we had when we started the delinquency panel. So thank you, Randy. Thank you. You're doing a great job.
Thank you.
And it's not a fun job, believe me.
Yeah. You don't want a career as a bill collector? No. All right, moving along. Committee business and reports. Mr. Patassi.
The only thing I'd mention is that the chapel committee's got the Christmas Eve service, 5 o'clock on Christmas Eve.
Very good. Who's performing here? Who's leading this year, do you know?
Who's, what do you mean by leading? They've got the choir,
Okay, that's all right.
and I'm doing the message.
Very good. Thank you. Mr. Lloyd.
Hey, no reports, neither one of them. Nobody cares, it's Christmas.
Still a record pace there?
I wouldn't say nobody cares, it's Christmas, but I also have no reports.
Nobody cares.
I care about Christmas because I'm a nice person, or at least I pretend to be one, Jim.
I have no report.
Oh, my.
Well,
Well, that blew it.
the Architectural Control Committee has gone back to look at the language that they had proposed earlier. They're working on a draft. It will be coming in the January meeting. And then we'll run it by the Constitution Committee before we bring it here also. And they will attend that January meeting also.
Okay, very good. We'll put them on the agenda.
Let's see, the Lakes Committee, we had earlier an e-vote for Marlowe's Fish Hatchery to stock our lakes. Somehow, for some reason, Marlowe's Fish Hatchery, say that 3 times, has been unresponsive this year, and we've used them for many years. So they haven't brought the fish. So we would like to resend that e-vote and move to a different contractor. And Tim, is that, I got it.
Jones Fish Hatchery.
Joe's Fish Hatchery?
Jones.
Jones,
Yes.
thank you. So I would like to rescind that earlier e-vote for Marlowe's Fish Hatchery. So.
First thing is, that's your motion. Is there a
That's my
second for that motion?
Second.
Second by Eric. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Second motion would be to pay that same amount of money. It might be a little more, we don't know if it will be, but it wouldn't be much, according to Great Weather. Anyway, we'd like to have Jones Fishery, or Fish Hatchery, be the ones who stock our lake.
You want to give us an up-to number?
The email that Sue sent was basically almost the exact same amount, so let's say up to 1,700, great, maybe 1,800 most.
Let's go up to 1,800. Comes out of committee funds.
Yep. Linda makes a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Jim seconds. $1,800 to Jones Fish Hatchery. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? That motion carries.
Thank you. And that's all.
All right, I have one item that somebody else will need to make the motion on, and this comes from the Food, Fun, and Fellowship Subcommittee. And Kathy Clevenger has asked that we would submit a request to spend $175 for the New Year's Eve party. This is for, party effects and favors and other different things to make it, a truly sort of hospitable evening.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Second by Scott. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Ms. Kerrigan, get it?
All right, so Long Range Planning Committee facilitated the distribution of the amenities fund. We'll be reviewing that later in the meeting. In addition to that, we've been working with the Ad Hoc Budget Committee that came out of you remember the survey we did, we asked people if they were interested in being a part of a committee to talk about budget and assessment concerns. We had our second meeting on December 8th, and what we've been working on is an overview of the budget that we'll be posting on the website so people can understand the documents that we publish on the website, and also feel free to ask questions of us. We're also going to distill like a simple one-pager to share with folks that'll probably go into the next ECHO in January. And so look for those updates, and hopefully that helps our members understand our financial status.
Thank you.
I have nothing.
Nothing.
I have nothing, but Tom does. This is actually a pretty simple one. We already did the e-votes for the calendar. I don't even know if we need an e-vote, but I need to quorum everybody. So Karen McNabb is our current chairman of the golf committee. She is taking a little hiatus for a while, and Cindy Lapp will be taking over as the interim chairman. So I didn't know if we needed to vote on that or just give you guys notice. It's just, she's not taking over, just filling in for her while she's gone.
While I was there, and I think while I was, what's that word?
Interim.
Interim, thank you. Chairman of the airport committee, I think we did vote to approve that. Yeah, I mean, it's no big deal one way or the other.
I think it's fine.
Well then, if that's the case, I'd like to make a motion to make Cindy Lapp the interim chairman.
Why don't you let Tim make that motion?
All right, so some kind of.
Motion that we'll have Cindy Lapp take over as the interim Paul chairman. Is that correct, Committee Chairman?
Second by Scott Martin.
Sorry about that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And please extend to Cindy our
I should have
appreciation.
said my neighbor, but that's not the case.
No. Alrighty. That's it. To the committee, I will talk a little bit about the deck here in just a minute under old business. Is there anybody for open floor?
You want to talk? Nobody.
Let's go on. Actually, I'll do it right now. No, I'll do it under old business. Anybody have any unfinished business topics to bring up? Seeing none, I'll go ahead and read the e-votes. This is a short list too. All right. Good heavens. Good deal. Everybody got their list in front of you? Okay, starting off on December 5, an e-vote to approve $175 to reimburse Carrie Ankney for the purchase of a couch for pictures during breakfast with Santa. That was a 7-0 on 12/12, December 12th. An e-vote to approve scheduling the pontoon launch, that's good to hear, for Saturday, April 25, 2020. Can I have a motion to approve these?
So moved.
Scott Martin, Linda Lonzinger. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. December 10, 2019. An e-vote to reimburse Desiree DeJohn $65 for pontoon storage fee as she has decided not to store her boat. 12/13/29. An e-vote to pay Lydia Sanders $275 from the Chapel Committee funds for work with the Choral Group for the Christmas Eve service. December 17th, 2019. An e-vote to approve the attached 2020 golf tournament schedule. These were all 8-0 votes. May I have a motion to
So
accept?
moved.
Scott Martin, second. Linda Lonzinger. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. What is it? New business topics. Annie Kerrigan, would you like to talk about the amenities allocation recommendation?
Yes, so we had $142,672.17 in funds available coming out of new member fees. So for just to reiterate how that works, is 50% of the new member fees goes into this amenities fund. And each December, the committees can come forth and put forth project requests and request funds to do enhancements and such to their amenities. So in front of you is a proposed list of projects. Do you want to read all of them?
I don't think so.
Okay, good.
I don't think so.
This will be posted, won't it? Will this be posted somewhere?
Yes, because we certainly have in the past.
So we'll post these numbers in the Echo. I guess this kind of sums things up. Pretty much every committee got their number one ask, at least some of the funds for that, and then a couple of the second level priority items also got funded.
Before we vote on this, I was filling in for Lance Olds for the new member committee, and I kind of made a little bit of a screw up. He had given me a number which I could go down to, and essentially it came out that in the end, for all their projects, they needed $1,000. So he had one for $1,000, another for $250, and I just said, well, we'll take the one for $250, which were the new member binders. And of course, I think those are important. So when we vote, I guess I'd like to ask, I don't know if we have to make it a second or first a preliminary vote, but the binders need to be in with the new member reception. So the $1,000 for both is what they really needed. I screwed that up.
And that's what's approved here.
$1,000 was approved, but right now they're not approved to buy the binders because I screwed up and didn't have that included. I should have said $750 for the new member reception, and I didn't do it that way.
So it's really a clarification of
$1,000.
yeah, the
Of the item, not the
dollar
money.
amount, correct.
Right.
So instead of it, so we can update this before we send it out, to your point.
Okay.
So it'll be $750 for yearly new member reception, and then $250 for new member information binders, and the total will be $1,000.
It's however you want to do it.
Okay, I got that.
If we just want to add new member binders to the reception, that would work as well. I don't. Yes.
Eric, that we've talked about this in the past and said that as long as the funds are spent in the same general area
Yeah.
for the same general topic, that it's okay. They can move it back and forth. So that really, you're covered. I don't
It's just a
think-
clarification.
Yeah, it's clarification, but it'll been okay
I
anyway.
got a 7 a.m. email going, oh, what the board didn't approve, they didn't approve the, oh, God, no.
He had one job.
I had one job.
I wondered if you did Tom.
You had fun with
And to your point, the binders are for the new member reception.
Exactly.
So that's totally fair.
No.
Well, they get them
No, they get
before
them
that, but it's
as they-
when it-
as
as
they
they start
get it.
Oh, at their closing, you're right, correct.
And so that means, I mean, essentially, we had $280,000 worth of new member fees, roughly. Correct. This last year, so that's a little, it's around 60 new members gets us to that number.
There was just a hair on what last year's was.
It's really close, yeah, it's consistent. If people would actually turn around more houses here in the hills, we could sell more.
Doing everything I can.
You are. Okay, any other further questions?
I do have one question, because I was at that meeting and the social committee had asked for the porta-johns that are on site from mid-October to be paid for through the amenities versus them specifically on their,
In the club, yeah.
yeah. And I see where that was not approved.
No, they got their number one item, which
But
is
they
the
didn't, so they
installation of the
didn't get
wall.
that. Okay,
That's correct.
I thought they did, so. All right,
And we see just things that stand out to me, the standby generator for the clubhouse. Huge. That's a big one. And of course, do we have an idea, did we get a good, I know I asked this question and didn't see anything come forward, of what we're getting for the 66,000 for the fitness center building?
They're going to do the siding, the windows and doors, get it closed in, and
The electric.
the electric. Someone to talk to Joe, I think we can put together a volunteer group to maybe do that drywall work that they need to do, that they, I mean, their number was significantly higher than this.
I remember, that's what I wondered, yeah.
I think the only thing they didn't get was HVAC, right?
They didn't get the HVAC and they didn't get the drywall.
Okay.
But the building will be enclosed.
right.
And it'll look nice.
Yeah.
Okay, and we're fine with the ceiling, the roof these days, and then
It's a new roof, I believe.
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
New metal.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Are you working with them in the management committee to bird dog what's going on?
We haven't had an update in a while.
Okay. So that's a lot of money. I just looking at it,
Mhm.
I know it is a high priority of our membership. Would it be appropriate, who's Health and Wellness Committee Chair?
Tom.
I think it might make sense for them, having had to do reports, if they would maybe give us sort of throwing it out there, give us a report of where they're at, what they're gonna accomplish, and do a little marketing with us, so we could.
Well, during the meeting, when they got sitting up there crunching numbers, it looked like Julie had some quotes that she can probably share with us on exactly what's gonna be covered, how much. And so, yeah, I think it'd be nice if they could, maybe not next Mondays, but the first meeting in January, if they could come give us an update on what's going on.
Yeah, I think it makes sense for you guys to take the lead on that, and then you can report back to us.
I have a question. This is forward thinking, I guess, but do we know how we're going to cover the liability for the health and wellness facility? People working out, it's a little different kind of area for us. How will we do that insurance-wise? Is there an issue? How do we address it? Then how do we clean it? Have we decided or made any kind of plan as to how we maintain it, both from a maintenance viewpoint as well as a cleaning viewpoint? And that's just as a starter. I think we have to look at these things so that we're prepared.
I think they have. I think they've mentioned some of that, like the cleaning on the inside of the facility and the equipment and that. I think Julie was talking about that a little bit at the meeting, as I recall.
It's a good idea, maybe you should come to the board and send
It'd be
them.
nice.
Yeah.
I think that would be a good idea, but I think we also need to look at coverage, insurance coverage, and make sure that our plan would cover that,
I'll check on that.
because it's a little different, it's a health and wellness facility.
I wouldn't be shocked if Jewel is on top of that as she is if she hasn't already taken a look.
Well, and that's good.
She should certainly
That's good.
fill us in on what that is. I agree.
Yes.
That'd be nice, yeah. Yeah, I'm not, I just would like to know, I guess it's a big question, because it's, I know it's an item of a lot of interest from people. We've heard about it for the last couple of years. We put a fair amount of money into it through the club asked through the amenities process, so just to have them give us an update on that. Any other questions on here? Because we're going to be asked to approve this here. Sure everybody's got. There being none, can I have a motion? I guess you made the motion.
Yeah, motion to approve the.
I'll second.
Tim Wyple seconds it. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Uh-oh. Here comes the high drama event of the evening. We have a nomination from the board rep for the Utilities Committee. Would you like to take that?
I've got nothing prepared here.
Oh, I believe you can wait.
Well, you could have just gone, no.
Certainly Randy can probably go probably some more into this than me. I am the board rep, but Utilities Committee has been something that I think is negotiated prior utility contracts for us in the past. The member who was in charge of that for a long term has since, he's no longer on the committee. And we've been looking for somebody else, and Randy actually mentioned Eric might be a good choice, and I know Eric's been jumping on some of the issues, having some conversations, and I nominated him to be the chairman, and he's here tonight to, I guess, answer any of your questions, or maybe he has some things to tell us.
Hi, I think I know everybody. Just to give you a background, utilities is not my forte. I'm a financial advisor, but I've done plenty of due diligence reports that I think I can pick this up. In the early 90s, I did work for a telecom company with the data aspect. But I've sat down with Randy, I sat down with Bucky Childers, I sat down with a few other people to get a general idea of what the priorities are. South Central is going to be the biggest priority, twofold. One is reliability, and two is 5-year plan to start burying lines. And it sounds like that's going to happen very soon. So once they start this, have they contacted other people that are on the polls, AT&T and Spectrum and other things, to make sure they're incorporated so that we're not left without some of these services? And then two is the reliability. Eventually, when I get a better handle on some of these things, and I've already talked to some other members that are interested in helping, and I would certainly let you know if there's anyone that has experience in this, if they don't want to do the physical work, but they would like to do, to be a resource to, a sounding board that we can throw things up. Please, give them my name and number and let them reach out to me. And also, too, if anyone wants to participate in this committee, please let me know. Some of the other priorities that are important too is the tower. The tower has been purchased by Crown Castle, so I think that agreement is up. And so
The cell tower.
The cell tower, yes. Take a look at that. It's my understanding, I haven't looked at the agreements yet, but it's my understanding that we can have other vendors on that tower and generate some revenues from that, whether it be other internet service providers or cell service providers or things like that. And with 5G coming out, there might be some potential out there too. Other wishful things is, when the 5-year plan comes with South Central, again, maybe as soon as next year that they start this, when that ground is opened up, can fiber be put in there or something else be put in there that will make things a little bit more efficient for us. First of the year, I hope to get a survey out to see if there's interest in consolidating gas suppliers to get a better price, consolidating any of the other vendors to get a better price, to see if, when I reach out to some of these other companies, what there's interest here from the community, from the members. Can we get somebody that's putting generators in a set price instead of everybody going out and getting their bids? You know, I know it's South Central, they'll do, I think it's, don't quote me, I think it's $700 for the plug-in for it. Can we get that reduced, or can we get somebody to come in and just give us a set rate, so instead of everybody's not going out there doing their own bids as well? So, I'm trying to think, I think that covers most of it. Do you have any questions, or is there anything that maybe I missed that you say, you know what, this would be a good idea to look into or address?
Cable versus DirecTV, or what are
Right.
options there?
Yeah, that's certainly something Randy and I have talked to, and there's some, maybe a little bit of sticky issues that we want to make sure we, you know, I don't want to go into now, but yes, that certainly will something to look into.
And we do have the old agreement with Time Warner / Spectrum that's from the club to look at that as another issue we have to do, because we've fought that one back and forth over the years, because they were originally supposed to give us, you know, free service or minimal service. We had to deal with that, but if there's some opportunities there, that'd be something to look at. Thanks much for stepping forward. It's always.
When you go to do that survey, let me know, because I specifically set up an account as a Hideaway Hills Google account, so that we can use Google Forms for all surveys, and we don't lose the data.
Okay.
I'm happy to help you with that. I also showed Penny how to do it, but if you guys can help.
I would definitely pick up on that.
Okay.
So we have a motion to approve Eric Boysko as the chair of the Utilities Committee. Can I have a second?
I'll second.
Jim Lloyd. Any further questions of Eric? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming tonight, too.
Of course.
Nice. All righty, let's move along to old business. We had 2 rules changes that we discussed last meeting, and I think we were all pretty well in agreement that the language was acceptable. The first was vaping, and a prohibition of vaping in our facilities. And the second one was a change in the language of foreclosures regarding sheriff sales. Is that correct, Randy?
Yes.
It is. Does anybody have it? It's been posted now in the Echo. So is there, I didn't get any comments from anybody. Did anybody anywhere?
No.
Okay, that being the point, we have a motion to approve the change in rules regarding vaping. Should I read that? Move from Jim? Second from Eric. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We will not vape in our buildings. Okay, the second one is the language regarding foreclosure. And again, it's been posted in the Echo. I don't feel like reading it again. It's already been recorded in our permanent record. May I have a motion to accept the language on sheriff's sales by Scott Martin? Linda seconds. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, this is the code of ethics discussion that we've had. Jim Lloyd sent us all an email a few weeks back.
I've got it here.
I have one here.
Anybody wants to,
Why don't you go ahead and present it, because they were your comments, and
Okay.
I think that would be the easiest from my perspective.
This is what it's.
Jim did point out that the code of ethics and the requirement or the expectation we signed it is not covered in the rules. The conflict of interest is there. And we could ask the Constitution Committee to give us some language that would
I'd like to clarify a couple of points up from last month's meeting too.
Sure, please.
First off, I use a member throwing a thank you letter for the board. And under the old rules, we would have been in violation. And I just want to clarify that was definitely a thank you dinner. He did not want anything for it. It was all out of goodness of his heart. And secondly, they mentioned at the September meeting that I was at the racetrack, quote unquote. And I would like everybody to know that I wasn't playing the phonies, I was working at the Little Brown Jug meeting.
Is there something wrong with being there and vetting the ponies?
Not while the board meeting's going on.
That's that 1 week a year you work.
Yes. It's 1 week a year, and believe me, I work.
Only a 2-minute race.
I know. Okay, with that being said, I am not advocating or suggesting that we approve the language and the change on the $50 gift mentioned in that term. But this is something that I sent out to you guys. I just, I felt like it just was too broad. Like I said, a friend gave me a TV and I was in violation. So, and again, I'm not against it. I'm not against signing it.
No, I understand it. I understand that. You raised the question of the issues that are included.
It should be made a rule if we're going to sign it. And if that's okay, we can present it to the Constitution Committee. 4 of the members are here right now. And you can vote to have it put in, a rule put in. If this is okay, you can vote to have the language changed on that one item. And I'll forego the other items that I was concerned about completely.
So you're just proposing this one change?
What was the other change that you talked about?
I just thought about talking in public about other members was a little bit skeptical, but
I did too.
well, I'm not totally against that.
I think what you did with this one's okay, but I'm not a lawyer, but can you have something in there that says that you're getting a gift for something that's in exchange for something? That's the main thing. I mean, if Eric gets me a bottle of liquor for my birthday, do I have to report that to the board? Or maybe some kind of violation of the rule? It seems like if he's not expecting anything in return, what real difference does it make?
I think it's really just about making everyone aware. Maybe that's not a great example because you guys have a business partnership, obviously.
But it still is, I think it's actually probably a really good example.
Okay, we
So-
can use that as an example, but it's more of if something comes up that we're gonna vote about that either of you are gonna benefit from.
That's exactly what I think it should say in here, something to that effect.
You're saying, and I agree with Scott, it has nothing really to do with the dollar amount or whether it's perishable as much as are you receiving a benefit for another benefit as a board member that you're giving someone else.
Quid pro quo, so to speak, in all of this.
If a
I
contractor,
mean, I think that's the intent of it.
Right.
if a contractor gives me $100 and says, here, take this $100 and vote to put me in, I sure as hell am not gonna send a letter out. I mean, it's illegal. I think that's, if you're gonna, I don't think anybody here sitting here would even accept anything like that. But my concern was that when Belinda gave him a Christmas present,
Well,
he
yeah,
didn't report it. He was in violation.
well, I think so too. I think what you said is okay, but I think it should be more fleshed out to say up to the fact that there's a benefit, you're expecting a benefit for said thing.
Well, that's fine. I mean, you can take it. I just put that together to get things started. I mean, we can give it to the Constitution Committee and let them fix it.
Sorry, I missed a part of this. I apologize.
Are you okay?
I think I'm gonna live, yes. So, what does the Constitution Committee need to look at then? Greg, you're down there taking notes.
Yeah, basically revise this to include the concept that it's got to be a quid pro quo, sorry.
Right.
That you're expected to give something back in exchange for the gift.
Yeah, I guess if nobody understands what quid pro quo is at this week, after this week, they don't know the TV.
Like if the state of Ohio gave me $100 to bring that to the lottery to us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
That's the type of thing, that's what we're looking to avoid.
You gotta give that, split that $100 amongst everybody here.
So, the idea then is to take this language and modify it to include the concept of quid pro quo. Okay.
Not necessarily based on the dollar or the perishable or non-perishable, but your kid receiving a benefit in expectation that you're gonna facilitate a transaction of some sort as a board member.
Yeah, sure, you might have people that are coming and get to an Article 9 hearing and they're gonna go, I'll buy y'all drinks and, you know.
Well, they haven't been offering that to me yet.
Most of the Article 9s that I've sat in on, they don't even like you when it's over.
Yeah,
They didn't like you before.
That's what the good too.
It is, I think, do you guys think that's enough direction to the Constitution Committee? And then the other thing is to look at, I looked at it and it looked like you could add just code of ethics with the conflict of interest section of the rules as well. Because there is
Is that in the rule or the code?
No, it's a rule.
Yeah.
It's a rule. None of it's in the code, it's all in the rules. So,
That'd be easy to do.
yeah, I looked at it and that looked to me, it seemed like it could just be fit in there that and it's not only the board, it's also the management committee as well.
I think ACC also is in there, isn't it?
I think it's all the standing committees.
Yeah, that makes sense because ACC would be dealing with contractors and building questions. I think that's right. All right, do you think you have your assignment, Mr. Padassin?
Yep.
Clear in your mind? All right, good deal. Okay, back to the agenda. Okay, let me do a little bit here. Hopefully a number of you saw that holes are being dug. Here is a copy of the approved stamp from the Fairfield County Building Commission, or Building Group, the Building Department. I'll look at Rita Stone. So we had to revise the project a little bit to make sure that we had a significant enough ingress and egress from the deck, because by using these steps here, we would not be able to evacuate the deck in case of an emergency in the allotted time. So Dave Lee worked with Dan Krieger, and the two of them came up with an additional set of steps, which will be on that side and be looking down toward the amphitheater on the front side. Those have been added to the plan. Anybody wants to look at it, it's here. I will probably put a link on the website to a Google Drive where this is located that people, if they wish to, or maybe I'll just ask if people want to, I can give them that link. It's 43 megabytes, the plans are, so I don't think anybody will want to download it to their computer, but they can if they wish. But anyway, so based upon that, and then we had to order some additional rebar because we had to dig. We originally had 18 holes that were for the foundation. We had to add another 5 small holes, basically just for the steps that go down. So it's a total of 23 holes. And we had to get additional rebar. If you want to look around here, the rebar is out there. It's 6 feet high and 30 to 36 inches in diameter. Matt Hobbs has been working on it. He, as a close of business today, I believe has 11 of the holes nearly finished. And then he's going to be back tomorrow to hopefully finish the rest of them. Weather depending, then we will pour concrete. Once that's done, then the foundations will be in place and we can then move on to the next step, which is building the rest of the construction, and with, you know, the idea that as weather permits, the contractors will get that accomplished. We want it for when the weather breaks, obviously, to get it done. I don't think, based upon what we have here and the like that we've got, should have any, I mean, there will be complications, there always are in projects, but I think we've done due diligence in going forward and getting all the pieces and parts lined up together. We'll have to, you know, we've done bids on all of the equipment or materials for it. We did at the, you know, at the time that we started, we had sufficient funds. I still think we do, but we'll, you know, bids change given times, and it's been 2 years since we had really firm bids from these folks. So the next step after Matt Hobbs is done is that Mark Truman, Matt Woodrum, and I believe Gig will begin the actual carpentry and the construction of the facility. Again, it's made to stand unattached. It will be right up against the building and against the old deck, but it stands on its own. It's a separate structure completely. And it's the standard in the state of Ohio. is 110 pounds per square foot. This is well in excess of that. So the lodge may go down, but the deck will be standing. That was the plan. We'll go from there. There's some other questions people have had about adding another door, adding a window. I think at this point, we want to get what we've got done, get it finished, and see how it affects our operations. I've talked certainly with Jim and Randy and Brannon about that. We'll, at this point, the access will be from the old deck to the new deck or from the walkway. You'll see out there, there's 2 holes that are yet to be poured that are going to be the 2 most difficult because they're somewhat down the hillside. But Matt's prepared to do that. Matt Hobbs is prepared to do that, and actually probably will be doing that tomorrow. So we got that done. And the other ones, all the other holes are up here on the level, and so they're fairly non-controversial and not to say insignificant, because they are 36 inches in most cases and 6 feet deep. So there's a lot of concrete in there and rebar. Any questions at all? Feel free to take a look at it. He'll be working. I mean, we were hoping it'll be a little bit warmer because tomorrow's going to be cold. So we'll play it by ear as to when we can actually get everything in the ground.
It's supposed to be dry for the next 7 or 8 days.
It is, yeah. Yeah, they're hopeful to get it done.
And in the 40s there in a couple days.
Yep. Yeah, once we're done, then we'll start on the carpentry. That'll be the next step. Any questions at all? All right, well, I will maybe I'll put it out that if people would like to have an access to the plans, I'll give them the link to the Google Drive where they can get it. We'll go from there. Moving along. Annie, do we have any new members?
Yes, we do. So we did not sell any club owned lots this last month, but we do have some new members. We have Joshua T. and Lasha M. Bauman, lot 594, and Thomas and Diana Blue, lots 1074, 1075, 1076. Michael Green, lots 159, Reserve 05, and Reserve A 05 and Reserve B 05. Nanette Wickline, lots 1157 and 1158. Danny R. and Beverly L. Smallwood, lots 519, 520, 521, and 522. And Michael D. and Maria Albanese, lots 846 and 847. I'd like to move that we accept these new members.
That's section 6. Nice. Yes, it is.
I'll second.
Second from Scott. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, any additional business? No additional business. May I have a motion? All in favor, say aye.
801.
801.
Nice.
Shut it down.
We haven't already.
The bar's up until 9.
Now, I talked to her, I told her if she would stay open a little later, it looked like.
Well, it's only 8, Jim.
I know. She would.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
like,
man. Well, what do you think?
It's a quick program.
He's not gonna be here.
I'll be with you then.
is
What
this?
time does it say?
It's on.
8:30. We had to tell you. but-
It's on. It's still on.
And you need to turn it on.
We've called. Yeah.
Yeah, please.